You lost me, I didn't lose anything. Now I'm free, so I can start the healing. I got tired. You lost me, I didn't lose anything. Now I'm free, so I can start the healing. I got tired of crying myself to sleep. You thought the cliff I jumped off was just too steep. With you I kept on losing myself. I had to put my feelings up on a shelf. I hope you lay in bed at night and think about the memories of us. 'Cause I've had enough. I know my worth. Even when it hurts, I'll be alright. I promise you'll feel worse when you see how great I am without you wasting my time. My time. I'm done waiting around. You're playing so many games. I've been getting run down. To you, it's all just the same. Good luck with your life. You know I wish you well. We're both gonna be fine. This has to be farewell.
I'm falling and I never learn. The same flame and I'm always hurt. Picking my pieces from the ashes on the floor. Push away but it's killing me. Smoke lungs when I try to breathe. Filling me up with doubts. I hold them in my core. Oh, when you're here. Oh, when you're near. Oh, it burns and nothing I felt before. Oh, when you're here. Oh, when you're near. Oh, it burns like nothing I felt before. Like nothing I felt before. Like nothing I felt before. Like nothing I felt before.
Feel you so close, need you close your eyes, it's you.
And
Let the time pass by, we don't care about the others. Let's stay dancing all night 'cause I know you're my lover. Ooh, baby, I love it, and I can't ignore it. I like and you can notice, my body gets carried away. I don't wanna miss it, ay. I don't wanna miss it, ay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Race Spec Esports chat. Welcome to the stream tonight. I am your commentator, Mr.P, alongside my good friend and co-commentator, GuardianRGR. Tonight's destination located on the dunes of the North Sea. We're going to Holland, the Netherlands. Put on your orange shirt, grab some cheese, and enjoy what is sure to be a spectacular Grand Prix. Round 2 of the PC Pacific Series. Welcome to the circuit Zandvoort. A track 4.2 kilometers in length, 2.6 miles, 14 turns. It is 10 to the right and 4 to the left tonight. 14 turns, like I said, 2 DRS detection points and 2 DRS zones in store for us tonight in Zandvoort. Qualifying is now just about to get underway, so we're going to switch to the live scene and we're going to introduce the co-commentator of the evening. That is GuardianRGR. Welcome on in, sir.
Yes, thank you. Glad to be here for round 2 of the Race Spec Pacific Series.
Very good to have you, mate. Very good to have you, mate. We've got, looks like we're starting with 17 drivers tonight. Looks like maybe 2 or 3, unfortunately, haven't made it. And the first car out on track is going to be Merlin. Guardian, we see a little bit of a different grid to what we saw last week. Last week's race winner, of course, in lights, not making the start tonight. So we are going to see almost, well, you have to say certainly, a second different winner in the second race. But coming into qualifying, who would your money be on, sir?
Well, I mean, look, it's a hard one. We've got a lot of fast drivers here. I mean, you know, Dada's pretty fast. So is Aussie. So is Clunky Boy. I've actually raced against BK. He's pretty quick. I'll be very interested to see what he can do in his rookie race here. It's going to be a good one.
Absolutely, mate. Who would your money on, mate? I've absolutely cooked the intro tonight. I think I've, as some people may know, I've spent far too many man hours building a rig. And I'm super tired, and my brain tonight might be a little bit disheveled, but we'll press on. We might need Guardian to pick me up and carry me over the finish line tonight in the commentary box, let alone the 17 drivers that we have on track trying to finish a Grand Prix.
Yeah, we're definitely in for a great race here in Zandvoort. Very fast, very tight. There's probably going to be a lot of very good battles tonight. Best overtaking opportunities here, of course, into turn 1 and coming out of turn 14, getting a good run and getting that DRS open. So I think we're in for a good show tonight.
Well, mate, Merlin is the first car on track tonight in a striking red and white livery of the Haas. Take us through the rest of the lap, sir.
Right, so he's coming down through a rather fast sector, and he's keeping it very, very tidy. So I think he's going to be on for a good bank lap here. It's a little overcast, so you know it's going to take a little bit longer just to get those tires up to temperature. But so far he looks pretty clean, and I think he's going to set the bar pretty high for us to get things started.
Interesting here. So he's just about to attack the turn 11 and 12 chicane. It's almost a 90-degree right-hander as Huey is out of the session already, so we lose one Mercedes-Benz. And then it's a little bit of a left-hand hairpin. It's a tricky part of the track. Obviously, you've got to carry as much speed as you can. And the banked corner of turn 14, mate, that is sensational. But what's it like to be a driver through the final corner with all that banking and G-force going through the neck and body?
Well, it's a really, really tough corner, like a lot tougher than it looks, because you want to keep maximum pace down through there. But at the same time, you know, you've got to watch your throttle control so heavily, because it's so easy to lose the back end of the cars when the banking gets up to its maximum angle.
And
so,
I believe, is it 30-degree banking in that final corner?
I believe it's actually 32 degrees of banking.
32 degrees. I know the banked left-hander in Jeddah, I believe it's 18 degrees there. So almost doubling that in the final corner at turn 14 here at Zandvoort. It's kind of Daytona-esque, but in a Formula 1 car, it's got to be sensational if you're driving through that. And sensational viewing for us up in the commentary box. Hopefully a move or two can be made there tonight as we see Talaxian through turn 2 towards turn 3. Another banked corner on this track. Turn 3, Guardian. Multiple lines there. Talk us through turn 3.
So turn 3 is really how you want to set up and approach the next straight. I mean, it's very oval racing. So you're gonna have the quicker line, time wise on the low line, but you might not be able to carry as much speed through into sector 2 there. So you can definitely attack the high side and get a good run, but obviously it's going to take a little bit longer to get through there. So it's really up to the driver what the driver feels comfortable with. A very good opportunity for overtaking, and one of the very few corners on this track where you can go 3 and even sometimes 4 wide. Of course, 4 wide you need to have very, very cooperative rivals.
And if we take anything from the PC Elite Series race, cooperation here is a super important part of racing wheel to wheel. There was a number of incidents throughout that race, which I'm going to avoid talking about. And hopefully the drivers tonight in the Pacific Open Series can show us how it's done here, as we see Max Height currently sitting P6 on a 1:12.4, as I'm forgetting how to English tonight. I'm very apologies for that. And down the main straight we go here. Max Height currently P6. Can he lift himself higher up the table? No, he cannot. So Data on the early pace here. He has set a 1:10.6 and returned to the pits. That's a very lovely lap time there. We'll try and catch him on board through the second half of this session. Val in P2, just on an outlap now, a 1:11.4. He'll certainly be looking to go a bit quicker. And while we're on the topic of Val Guardian, he's been threatening in both the PC Elite Series and the PC Open Series. Do you think we could see something special today from Val?
Yes, I absolutely do. I absolutely do think we can. Val's got a lot of pace, a very clinical driver. I think we can expect great things from them tonight. Sorry, it looks like VK just got disconnected as well. I've just seen it on my screen, so maybe a couple of technical issues there. But anyway, yeah, Val looking very threatening. A good start here from P2, and they might be in it if they can hold for P2. I mean, we saw last week at Spa where the provisional pole sitter thought, okay, the lap's good enough, and I'm comfortable with it, not actually ending up on pole because of just the pace that comes to the tracks in the later stages. So that's definitely going to be a thing to keep an eye on here as well, because we thought Spa was tight when it comes to qualifying. This track, it's a lot of flat out racing through the lap, so I don't think we're going to see a lot of separation in qualifying times.
Well, I think as well on this track, Guardian, there's a smaller skill gap, I think, from what we've seen on the game series this year. But the Netherlands, it's a fun track to drive, and at the start of a session, the track is always green, as they say, and as more cars go out and set times, more rubber gets laid down, and the times start to plummet. So it's always about the last run and the last 3 minutes of the session, and obviously who can maximise their potential in the cars in that final stanza of the session. But currently we see Data in the lead. Rysel has managed to pull himself up to second in between Val and Data, and then Aussie in the Alpine. He's set a rather competitive 1:11.6, another driver who hasn't been able to just utilise his maximum pace and show what he's capable of through the first couple of rounds in both PC Elite and also the Pacific Series as Val goes back to P2. Clunky Boy, he'll be looking for a strong showing tonight, I'm sure, in the Red Bull garage. Aussie in a Ferrari, also looking to maximise his result and show what he can do. And then we also have Alex, who I believe is making his first appearance of this season, coming in the McLaren. We're also seeing Sushi Trash tonight. Talaxian, Max Height, Albino Josh, followed by Merlin. Beatster, there's a name we should mention, the great Beatster. Well known in the F1 community, very popular. And it's his first appearance tonight in the PC Pacific Series, as he is coming through the right-hander now, I believe, of turn 10? Left-hander of turn 10, right-hander of turn 9. And he's going to get the DRS open, the power down, Deploy a little bit of battery down this second DRS straight into turn 11. Tricky corner, got to get it right. He takes plenty of curb, gets great rotation through turn 12 there, pins the power. You sort of got to just wait a little bit on the rear to cooperate there, but Beatster's neat and tidy. And now through the flat out turn 14, the banking to the right. A real test of his neck muscles and flat chat down the main straight. We see Beatster improve here to P8. Guardian, what do you think's capable, or what do you think Beatster is capable of tonight?
Well, I mean, looking at this lineup that we've got, I think in general anybody's capable of anything here at Zandvoort. But yeah, I think we can definitely like just looking at the pace that Beats has got at the moment. I think we could definitely see him top 5 if he tidies up. But generally speaking, a very clean lap, and I think he's definitely capable of a top 5 tonight. I also think we could possibly see a high 109 as well by the end of qualifying.
109, now that is tantalising. I'd also like to take this opportunity. We should welcome in the many guests watching on the Race Spec Twitch channel. Welcome on in to VK himself, Mad Chisel, Mort, and I think that's about it. But if you're in the chat, please do let us know. I'm really struggling to speak English tonight. And we see JS with a spin, a little love tap on the wall, just getting acquainted with the barriers there, the Williams. And he gets it going, spins it around at the 25, says goodbye, Gazalahide, and he will live on in the session.
Yeah, he got very, very lucky with that. I think he might have a little bit of rear wing damage, so he'll probably need to check the car, see if it's okay, and maybe have to return to the box for some repairs.
His first appearance tonight, so I'm sure he'll be excited and chomping at the bit to get around this track as quick as he can, but it's probably going to be a return visit to the garage, as Guardian has mentioned, and then one final push. We also have yellow flags now in Sector 3. That's the exit of Turn 12. I think that is an Alpine around possibly either Sushi Trash or Aussie, who are both on outlaps. But let's go and have a look at Data then. A very fast guy. And at the moment, he is out of Turn 14. He's got no front wing. Data going for the OP zero wing strategy, and it's a return to the box for him as well, so a little bit of a struggle on his intermittent run here. Average only, he's going to be after the pole, but also returning to the garage. Let's have a look at Clunky Boy through turn 3 for him. Go ahead, Guardian.
Yeah, I've just been keeping an eye on Clunky Boy's lap, and it's been very, very tidy so far. Very, very nice, very smooth, and I think he might actually be able to get top 3 if he keeps his pace up.
Right, on board with him then through turn 7, and a little bit of a moment for Clunky Boy. A little bit of a clunky moment for the man himself, but he continues on now into the left-hander of turn 10, onto the back straight. DRS now wide open for him as we see him approach turn 11 and 12. Let's see how much Kirby takes here. Uses the outside, plenty of the inside. It looks pretty neat and tidy there. Looks like his steering motion was well in check and quite smooth, and I find this little corner here, turn 13, one of the trickiest on the track. Stays well away from the curb. He may be coming in. We've also got a McLaren around in Sector 2, I believe, an Alpha Tauri. A lot of cars just really struggling at the moment on the track, Guardian.
Yeah, I think the temperature's quite low here, and everybody's just struggling to get the tyre pressures up a bit. I think we might see a couple of the more experienced guys taking sort of 2 laps to get the tyres up before they actually go for a push lap, because it looks like that's what's going to be needed.
Look, it's very fascinating stuff right now. We've seen Data just put out an electrifying lap of a 10.6. Average only, just about matching him, but 3/10 to the negative. Aussie in the Ferrari here, is he just about... Is he on a push lap? I think he might be returning to the pits, so we're just struggling to catch a lap here, aren't we?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Almost everyone in the garage right now.
Yeah, I think everybody's just just looking at their tire pressures, probably considering lowering them just to get a bit more temperature into those tires, because it's looking like everybody's struggling just a little bit. And like I said, I think that's a lot due to the temperature on track. It does look quite low, and we have got quite a lot of cloud cover in this qualifying session.
Well, it does look like a lovely lap here from Rissell. Let's see what he can do. Can he really attack Sector 3 perhaps and wrestle his way into the top 5? Let's see. The power down here is low on fuel, low on battery as well. This may indicate that he's on his second or perhaps third flying lap, but gets the power down nicely there with a handy short shift into gear 4. Gear 5 for the right-hander as well. Uses the high gear, plenty of exit curve, and just the sight of an F1 car in turn 14 is quite incredible. But once again, another car peeling into the pit lane. And I think we'll try and jump on board with Sushi Trash. It looks like he's preparing his lap. So a little bit of a lull here in qualifying before one final stanza and one last hurrah for the 17 drivers tonight. Battling it out for the pole near the dunes of the North Sea in Zandvoort.
Looks like everybody's starting to come in, maybe get a fresh set on, and go for one last push.
Well, having a look here, Sushi Trash quite low on battery and just bails into the gravel. Quite interesting there, but we have an Alfa Romeo, I believe that is Talaxian. So let's jump on board now with Talaxian, the young man. Let's see what he can do. Can he give the timing board a little bit of a shake up here as he starts the lap? He will hit speeds. No, he's warming up. I believe he was on an out lap, but he's going to warm it up again. We've got yellow flags in Sector 3. And 2 minutes 40 remaining. Guardian, mate, who would your money be on in this stage?
I mean, at this stage, I think we're definitely going to be looking seriously at these top two, like Data and Average Only. Data's still in the pits. Average Only's on an out lap. These two are the only two in the 110s. As looks like Alex got a little bit out of shape going past the Ferrari there. But I think that the boys in the 110s are serious contenders for this qualifying session.
Oh no, sorry Guardian, sorry to interrupt, but Average Only on his out lap has lost his end plate, and one of the main protagonists for pole position today has just had a little kiss with the barrier, and unfortunately the left end plate of that car has disappeared. What's it like on an out lap to make a mistake like that? He just can't recover. Does he just go for it? Does he try and make something happen? Perhaps we're now a little bit less downforce, but hard to see him bettering his time now.
It definitely is. Like the major problem when you do that on an out lap, of course, is your downforce, and unfortunately with the banked corners here providing so
we've got another one around.
Oh.
Sorry, Guardian. That time it's Val. Just really aggressive, wrestling the car there through turn 7, and unfortunately just wrestled it too hard. And he did the old Rey Mysterio 619, and around he went. And that's brought yellow flags out in Sector 2. Let's try and jump on board with Aussie as he passes the scene of the crime. And there's also another Alfa Romeo. That's Talaxian around there as well.
Yeah, I think everybody just struggling. I'm just on board with Merlin as he's gone past what looks to be now a double X, and looks like they've both lost it at the same place.
Is there perhaps a bit of sand blowing in off the beach onto the track that's just catching the drivers out, or maybe even gusts of wind? Because we are seeing a high volume of drivers making what seems to be unforced errors.
Yeah, I think possibly as well with the amount of guys that have gone off at the same place in the track, that maybe they've just kicked up a bit of dirt onto the track, and it's catching other drivers out. And
right,
these are.
Let's see. Go ahead. Oh, we've lost it. No, sorry, Data. The pole sitter has gone around. So sorry, Guardian. Just the session has now expired, and we need to find someone that may challenge Data for the pole here, because he finds himself facing the wrong direction, and perhaps his main rival here for the pole is going to be Sushi Trash, as the Aston Martin just darts out of the way, and Sushi Trash now into Sector 2 through the nonchalant right-hander. He gets a little bit out of shape, and Sushi Trash has lost it as well. This is quite extraordinary what we're seeing tonight in Zandvoort. A lot of drivers might think they're in Tokyo with the scenes we're seeing, but who else then? Aussie in the Ferrari, he's bailing out of a lap. Val has crossed the line, P5 for him, at least. Clunky Boy, he's going to cross the line. What can he do? He crosses and goes up to P3. Extraordinary result there for the Red Bull. Up to P3. Sushi Trash has bailed out. Aussie looks like he was cooling down. Rissel not going particularly quick. Talaxian across P9. Beatster P10. Alex 11th. Merlin 12th. Max Height, has he got anything left for us? He does not. So it looks like Data will survive here to score the pole from average only. And Aussie, the top 3 here in qualifying for Zandvoort. Guardian.
Yeah, honestly, that last one looks like he just picked up a bit too much curb, and maybe that's what's been happening to the guys out there, because it was the exact same turn, the exact same accident, and I think they've just caught a bit too much curb. I think everyone pushing everyone, and everyone trying to find a bit of pace, and they've just gotten tripped up really.
Extraordinary what we've just seen in that qualifying session at Zandvoort. It was mistake ridden, but it's a tricky track, and you've got to respect the drivers out there. They're all pushing the car to the limit, trying to extrapolate the maximum lap time that they possibly can out of these Formula One machines. But yes, as Guardian mentioned, a number of drivers just tripping over the curbs and unable to make it count, but Data survives, mate. The McLaren will sit on pole. And that's it, session over.
And sorry, it looks as well like Aussie just pitched clunky at the line there on that final run, so he goes up to P3 in a very good effort.
Excellent job there from Aussie. So the qualifying session has completed. It is official. Data has the pole for McLaren. He scores it from average only of Aston Martin, just over 3/10 the gap. And then Aussie just late nipping in for P3. Clunky Boy P4. The top 5 completed by Rissel. Sushi Trash for the Alpine, P6. A good result there from the Alpine, actually. Both cars in the top 6, so they'll be looking to score big points as the race progresses. And then followed by Aussie, Val, Talaxian, Beatster, Alex, Merlin, Max Height, Albino, Josh, and I'm just struggling to see the rest of the grid there, but a very fascinating qualifying session.
Yes, definitely. I think I think everybody was pushing everybody was pushing it on the limit, maybe a bit beyond the limit, but very, very easy to do here at Zandvoort. It's a very easy track to get things wrong. It's also a very easy track to extract a lot of lap time out of. So I think we're in for an absolute thriller of a race here.
I think so. Well, strap in, ladies and gentlemen. Get the Brie, get the Gouda. I don't know what else is Dutch. Grab your Supermax cap and get set for 36 laps of absolute adrenaline-packed action, because we're about to send it in Zandvoort. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see him go wheel to wheel here, because I think it's a great track. It promotes hard racing, but it can be a little bit tricky to overtake. Where would you say are the best chances for these drivers to sneak by and gain a position?
Best chances for me personally, I would say coming out of 14, getting on that DRS and making the move into 1. And don't underestimate turn 3, because that's a premium opportunity.
Premium opportunities in turn 3. It's going to be hard. There's multiple lines, but you can obviously dart underneath someone taking that high line. But you'd have to be following pretty close through that little right kink of turn 2. Now these corners do have names, Guardian. I really don't fancy my chances of pronouncing any of them, but if we throw it over to the chat for a moment, if you're tuning in on Twitch, thank you very much for joining us. I am Mr.P tonight, and joined by my co-commentator GuardianRGR. It's a pleasure to be here bringing you the broadcast, and thrilled to be a part of Race Spec this year. But who would you guys in the chat say is going to win the race? Who's your pick? Who are you supporting? Make sure you let me know in the chat who you're supporting, and we'll try and jump on board with your favourite driver at some stage tonight during the broadcast. But Guardian, just a quick word from you, mate. What are you hoping for? What are you hoping to see, and who would you say is a good chance to win the race?
Well, I mean, I think anybody inside that top 5 is really going to have a good chance. Getting into the lead. It's about staying clean through the first lap, of course. That's pretty much every track. But if you get the power down early and the tires hook up, and you can be a little sneaky and maybe a little cheeky at times, you might find yourself going from 4th or 5th up into
We've just seen Aussie have a bit of a moment there, and the strategies. It looks like a medium hard is predicted for the 1 stop. It could be a 2 stop here in Zandvoort, but I think it'll all depend on safety cars. So thank you for the summary, Guardian, and here we go. Not too far away now from green flag racing in Zandvoort.
Yes, and on the subject of strategy, it looks like only JS44 is starting on the hards. Everybody else on the mediums. So, they might be going long and trying to get some clean air.
Very interesting that. So we'll keep an eye on JS44. Did you say he was on the hards?
Yes, he's starting on the hard tyre, so...
Yep, okay. All right, well, here we go then. So the cars lined up in Zandvoort, ready for action. 36 laps of adrenaline coming your way on the Race Spec Esports Twitch TV channel. Here we go, set for a start in Zandvoort. The lights go on, 4 and 5. And blast off, they're away. Data gets away particularly well. He comes across the track. He heads off average only. He's had a bit of a sluggish start. Aussie down the outside of turn 1. Plenty of cars doing battle. They're 3 wide back there for P4. Looks like Rissell gets the jump on Clunky Boy and Sushi Trash. Data leads the way. Yellow flags out. That's for Sushi Trash, who's dropping down the order quite severely. He looks like he's had a tangle with Aussie. Merlin's involved as well. Multiple cars. Is that going to bring the safety car out? Not just yet, so Data will lead the way, followed closely then from Aussie. Average only, nipping at the hills. He's back up to P3. Had a great crack at the start there to try and jump Data into turn 1, but couldn't quite do it. Is that Albino Josh at the back that's gone around, Guardian?
Yes, it is. One of the hearts, he got a little loose coming into the turn and just overcorrected.
Well, he's got going again, and safety car is out. Max Height sits down there in P14. He has lost his front wings, so also has Merlin. JS44 looks like he's battled away pretty unscathed there from the back of the grid. He jumps up to P12. A name we've not mentioned too much tonight is Huey Yadig, but he's done well up to P11. VK on debut sits in P10. Of course, points given in race spec for the top 15, so all runners, as long as they do get to the end of the Grand Prix, will score something here. Who else can we see that's had a good start? Beatster's up a couple of spots. Talaxian's done well. It looks like Val has stayed out of trouble. At the front of the grid, it was quite clean. It was all happening towards the back. There were 3 wide for P4 through turn 1. But Guardian, did you catch what happened at the back there?
Yes, I did. There was about 4 or 5 different cars involved, but I'm not entirely sure who triggered. I saw it in the background. I think one of the Ferraris and one of the Alpines was involved in that. Yeah, it looks like Aussie and Sushi Train. I think Aussie with the Y there was just an innocent victim, unfortunately. Also, we've got a couple of guys in the pits as well. Also, Merlin going on the soft tyre. So it's been a bit of a chaotic start, but I think the safety car will just chill things out, and the rolling start will get underway, and we'll have some good racing action. Absolutely.
So we have a look at positions gained and lost here while we have the safety car. Huey Yadig, the best beneficiary of that, along with VK. They've gone up 6 spots together. JS has made up 3. As I said, Beats have made up a couple. The only losers, apart from the cars that have retired there on lap 1, Max Height and Merlin obviously involved in a little tangle, but it's Clunky Boy and Average only that have lost out 1 spot each, but plenty of opportunity ahead of us here in this Grand Prix.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, VK and Huey have done an absolutely phenomenal job. 10th and 11th respectively, both going up 6 places. So, they've made huge gains through all that and kept it really clean.
So through the first lap then, under safety car for just about half of it, it's Merlin and Max Height both coming into the pits. Max Height getting a 5-second penalty for his trouble. He's gone onto the hard tyre. He may try and take that deep into this Dutch Grand Prix. Merlin onto the soft. So Merlin is preparing here for a rather short stint, I believe, on the soft tyre. That probably expected to last maybe between 10 and 15 laps, but he'll need to stop again, I'd say, onto the mediums to the end. But you never know your luck. A safety car could play into his fortune, and by the end of this Grand Prix, we could see Merlin towards the front of the pack. So all to play for still then, but it's going to be Data leading us into this safety car restart. We could go green perhaps at the end of this lap.
Yeah, just given how late the safety car came out, I think we might actually be waiting till the end of the next lap. But yes, data will take us away. Be interesting to see how he approaches the restart, because you could get a bit of a jump by getting on the power early going into that bank turn, or you could back everybody up and get on it in the mid turn. So it'll be very interesting to see how he approaches that start.
Safety car is in this lap, so keep your eyes firmly fixed on the fast and frantic action here in Zandvoort. What a start we had. As I said, pretty clean through the front of the grid. But let's see if the restart is equally as clean for the front runners, or will we see a move? Will we see a lunge? Will we see a slipstream into turn 1? Let's go on board with Aussie here for this restart as Data darting left and right, trying to keep the heat in those medium Pirelli tyres. Here he goes then, controlling the pace. He's obviously been watching Lewis Hamilton through the week and doesn't want to do a similar restart to that, but here we go. It's all about the element of surprise, and Data in any moment is about to bolt. He may take us all the way to the line here. There he goes, and he's really caught Aussie off guard there. Data flies away into the lead of the Grand Prix, and it's Wrestle all over the back of Average Only, looking to make a move. He's going to try and hang it in around the outside of turn 1, nothing doing, and Aussie has gone around. He's going to go to the back of the grid. It looks like he's avoided contact. He's done well. Wrestle lost a bit of ground there just with that spin from Aussie, and they're too wide at the back. Clunky Boy pops out ahead, and Val going wheel to wheel here with Alex. Sorry, Val going wheel to wheel with Talaxian. It's great stuff. Looks like Val's going to get the job done there. Nothing Talaxian can do about that. Too wide further back. That's VK and Beatster. Looks like Beatster made a sensational move there. JS44 up into the points as well as we fly away here on lap 4.
Yeah, it was for all intents and purposes a fairly clean restart. I think everybody got away pretty cleanly. It was very good to see. Obviously with everybody so compressed and everybody trying to make gains and defend their positions. We do see a little bit of contact, but generally speaking, a very clean restart.
It's all just calmed down a little bit for now here on lap 4 of the Grand Prix. It's Data leading by 9/10 from Average Only. He had a really exceptional restart there and was putting the pressure on Aussie, and unfortunately, Aussie cracked under that pressure and has found himself spat out at the back of the field. But I'll tell you what, a driver I've been rather impressed with here through qualifying the start of the Grand Prix is Wrestle. It's the first time I'm seeing him in action, but he's looking very punchy and closes right up to the back of Average Only through turn 3 in the banking. I'd certainly keep my eyes on this man because he is looking quite fast and a danger to P2 for Average Only. Clunky Boy a little bit further back. There's a bit of a break to him, and then Val and Talaxian who went into battle. Val coming out ahead of that one, followed by Alex, Beatster, VK and JS rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, I've been very, very impressed with Bristol as well. He's been very clean.
Aussie has retired from the session.
He might have had a bit of rear wing damage from that secondary contact. I suspect that may be why he has retired.
Well, let's go on board then with Clunky Boy. He's leading a rather big train, as I believe we're going to get DRS now this lap. There's another yellow flag. I think Aussie's car may still be circulating on the track.
Yeah, very possibly, or it just has not been removed from the track. So, yes, DRS enabled the slap.
No, it looks like Aussie's car come out of the pits, but just at the back of the grid here, here's Huey. You dig up the inside of Albino Josh, and he makes a very nice move there. That's textbook, and he'll be looking to come back into this Grand Prix sooner rather later as Aussie unfortunately leaves the session there to clear his stranded car, which is ghosting currently on the circuit and creating yellow flags there for the drivers in turn 3, but he's gone now, so that problem is cleared. It's a three-way battle for the lead here, Guardian.
Yes, it is. I've just been on board with Data, and he's just bringing that gap out to 6 tenths. He needs to press on a little bit, stay focused, because he needs to break that DRS, but he's doing a very good job of it right now.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He wasn't able to clear the 1 second DRS gap, so Average Only is able to just stay with him here and just maybe latch onto the back and maybe just creep and crawl his way back into the fight for the lead of this race. But also Rissell, as I mentioned previously, he's looking very feisty, and we may be able to see him make a move here into turn 1. He's going to go to the inside here, and with the DRS, Rissell gets the move done, under braking into turn 1, gets the elbows out. Average Only doing the best he can to keep it stuck in the outside. Far from average. That was very brave, but Rissell does find a way through, makes a splendid move there, and that's P2 for the Ferrari.
Yes, and probably a little bit of energy store used there as well. He looks to be a little low on battery, but I'm sure he'll just start harvesting that, and he's very, very close actually now to Data. So he'll probably just sit in that DRS, save the battery, and just do what he's got to do. Data actually with quite a low battery, so he's putting on some really good pace and some really good battery management right now.
It's a tantalising battle for the lead of the race. Just breaking away from that, we've also got a massive train of 6 cars here, also battling for position. This goes all the way from Clunky Boy down to VK in P9. Beatster getting in on the action as well. So yeah, there's a couple of battles forming. An interesting story to the race here, but it's Rissell now. He's going to be looking for the lead of the Grand Prix. He's low on battery. What's Data got here? Defends to the inside, trying to take his line away into turn 1, but Rissell pokes his nose through, says, not today, I won't be denied, and Rissell takes the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix. Fantastic racing there from the Ferrari. Wow, how was that?
Yeah, that was a great move. The only problem Rissell now has is that Data's got a lot of battery and Rissell doesn't, and Data is going to hang in that DRS, and he's probably going to give Rissell a bit to think about there. He'll be filling the mirrors right about now.
Well,
so
I think he might try and rustle his feathers, but let's see what's Data made of. He's going to have to try and come back and recapture the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix. He's lost it on lap 8, and I just had a feeling that Rissell fella was going to be pretty quick, and he was, but it's all about breaking the DRS as we see a Williams, I believe, off the track towards the back of the field. That is JS44 on debut. He's got it going again, and he remains in P12, but all eyes fixed on the lead of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, it looks like JS just had a bit of a small moment there. Yeah, probably just a lazy spin, but he'll get back on it and get back in the race.
Beast is going around as well. There's a Red Bull in turn 14. Unfortunately, Beast has had a bit of a moment. Huey a dig. I tell you what, a couple laps ago, we were calling him down in P13, 14. He's found his way up into the top 10 now, and he's searching for a way by Albino Josh, who's having a good comeback drive here as well, up to P9. VK's been very tidy, up to P8. And then we have Talaxi and Alex looking for a way through on the back of Clunky Boy.
Yeah, VK's been very, very impressive. He's up 8 positions now, so he's definitely on for driver of the day, I think. Showing a lot of pace in his inaugural race here.
Surely too early to call driver of the day, but we'll revisit that one a little bit later here as we get the pictures from the helicopter. Alex not getting the best exit out of the left-handed turn 10. And that's not going to allow him to make a move into turn 11. Although Clunky Boy looks like he may just be struggling a little bit on those medium tyres. So let's see if Alex can find a way through. Val doing a very nice job. A consistent race for him sees him in P4 currently as we begin lap 10 of the Grand Prix. So here we go. It's Clunky Boy versus Alex. Clunky Boy moving down the straight quite late. Gives Alex a big squeeze there. The door was fast closed upon the McLaren. He couldn't get through, so he stays behind. Just waiting for the right moment to pounce. But Guardian, was that a little bit of a late move from Clunky Boy there on the straight?
I mean, I don't think it was. I think it was more just he was entitled to defend the position. And he didn't just close their door. He kicked it shut.
Fair enough then. So good hard racing there between Clunky Boy and Alex. That's what we like to see. There's a spin from the lead. Rissell has gone around. Unfortunate for him. He was driving such a beautiful race. He's got it going again. but he's lost so much there. He's back to P4. He's going to have to do all his hard work all over again. Data kept the pressure on and says, ta-ta. And he goes P1.
Yeah, it was very, very good pressure there from Data, and he just forced Russell into his own mistake. Very unfortunate for Russell. He had a lot of pace on. He was doing a very, very good job in the lead there. But he'll bounce back, and it's a long race.
Well, all of a sudden, Average only looks like he's in pole contention here. Because I tell you what, it's the driver that's P2 that gets that DRS slingshot that's really got the prime position, I believe, in this track. But you sort of only got 2 chances to make a move. It's, as you mentioned, turn 1 and also the turn 11 with the DRS. But you have to have a sensational run and a great exit through turn 10. And unfortunately, Average only just had a little moment there in turn 3, and he's lost a bit of time to Data. Now sits at 8/10. And Foul is going to be trying to find a way to close it and have a chance to win this race as well. But it's a sensational battle at the front through the first 11 laps of the Grand Prix.
Oh, absolutely, and Average only, he's still inside the DRS, so yeah, he'll get that wing open and close up. Maybe use a little bit of his battery store, or maybe he'll just hang in the slipstream and save that battery. There's a long way to go. We're approaching about the second third of the race now, but Data looking very, very strong, and Average only also looking very strong. But I also wouldn't underestimate Russell's pace, because he's closing the gap now on Val, and he'll probably make a move going into turn 1 here. He's got the ring wide open and says thank you very much.
Very lovely move there from Russell, recapturing a podium position of P3. And was that also a fastest lap for him? It was a 14.1. So a lovely move there, quite textbook. And Clunky Boy just on the outside of turn 3 there. Looks like he's been absolutely put through the blender by Alex, but he's looking to come back. Goes to the outside. Very difficult part of the track here to overtake. He thinks better of it, or does he? Down the inside. Clunky Boy getting very brave, but perhaps Alex just struggling a little bit for pace here. And he's got a very feisty Red Bull to keep at bay here. He's on the charge. He's got his horns out, and he wants past this McLaren for P5.
Well, what they say, Red Bull gives you wings, and he's definitely shown he's got the wings right now.
Absolutely, he's looking for liftoff down into the turn 11 and 12 complex here, past all the Dutch fans who are covered in orange, a sea of that today, perhaps looking for a Red Bull win. And Talaxian not too far behind as well. We'll keep tabs on him. He can certainly make a move as Data reclaims the fastest lap. He goes a 10th faster with a 14.0. And,
yes, and Data's just broken that DRS on Average only as well. So
yes, that
Average
could be
only
crucial.
will be looking to close it up.
That could be crucial. Max Height and Merlin doing battle towards the JS and Max Height doing battle towards the rear. Merlin a little bit further off the pace. And Clunky Boy still trying to find a way past Alex here. So Alex doing a very good job to hold on. It's a superb display of defensive driving up to this point here from the McLaren.
Yeah, and just a bit further back, VK in a little bit of no man's land, but he's closing that gap on his teammate, and looking very good. He's keeping those tyres in very good condition and managing the ERS very well.
So Clunky Boy obviously really wants to get through on these mediums. Is it? What do you think here, Guardian? Is it really worth Alex fighting and potentially holding up both drivers, or do you think it'd be more wise to maybe let Clunky Boy through, try and stay in that DRS zone, and perhaps pull them both towards the top 3?
I mean, it's from a driving perspective, it's a very hard one. You don't want to yield the position, because you might not get it back, but at the same time, he might be better off just bailing out of this fight for now, and yeah, as you say, getting that toe and catching up to a Val ahead.
VK's in the pits, so let's see what tyre he goes onto. We'd presume that will be the hard tyre, but VK may just set off a round of green flag pit stops here, and it is the hard tyre that he goes onto. It looks like he may come out in P13. Yes, he will. He will stay ahead of the Haas. So VK then is into the pits and maybe looking for somewhat of an undercut. Back towards this battle for P5. Alex and Clunky Boy. It's raging on.
Yeah. So it's been a very good battle so far. But yeah, I think VK probably going for the undercut here, and I mean it's a bit of a risky strat to go in, this early. But if he forces everyone else to come in and cover him off there, then he might find himself on a win. It does take about a lap and a half around Zandvoort here to actually get these hard tires up to operating temperature. So you never know. He might pop out a little bit closer to his teammate, and who knows? We could see could see a bit of magic towards the end of the race, or maybe he's even looking to go for the two-stop.
Indeed, yes, a two-stop could be a possibility. He could throw on the soft tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix. There was a late safety car in the PC Elite Series, and the soft tyre really did pay dividends for quite a number of drivers at the end of that one. But just quietly here, Data absolutely throwing down the hammer, and he's got fastest lap after fastest lap, and he's pulled out a 2.2 second gap to Average Only, who's trying to stay with him. He's doing a very valiant job here, but is he just losing control of the race here, Average Only?
No, I don't think so. I think he might just be harvesting the battery and just waiting for the right moment to go for a bit of a lunge. I think at this point he's just letting Data use his battery, and he just wants to keep him in visual range, and then maybe force him into a mistake later on in the race, or maybe even
just
push hard.
Talk about a mistake. I think Data made one, because that gap has gone from 2.8 eradicated back down to 1.1 seconds here, and Average Only very close to DRS, very close on ERS usage as well here. So very interesting. Clunky Boy's into the pits along with Talaxian, so Clunky Boy may be looking for the undercut on Alex. Keep an eye on that. For now, Huey into P6. Clunky Boy is going to come out P8.
Yes, and I think VK has actually triggered the thought pattern of, okay, maybe we do need to watch this undercut, and just not stay out too much longer, because we don't want to lose a bit of position in this battle. And I think that might be why they've gone into the box.
Indeed. Beatster has come in as well. Merlin has come in for his second stop. So the top 7 yet to box. Data leads the way, 1.3 seconds from Average Only. Rissel, who had the early lead of the Grand Prix, he was flying, but went for a little spin, avoided the barriers and got going again, and even passed Val shortly after to reclaim the podium position. And just a word on Val, he stayed out of trouble, driven a Sublime race in P4.
Yes, he absolutely has, and it looks like he's just starting to close that gap as Average Only comes into the pits now. So he'll be looking to get the undercut on Data, I think.
Well, this could be critical, because Average Only's going to need some clean air, as we see a yellow flag on the entry to Sector 2, which is swiftly cleared. But this pit stop for Average Only could be crucial in his chances to win the Grand Prix. And just a quick note, both Aussies out of the race today, very unlucky. Aussie in Alpine with rear wing damage, and Aussie Gamer, welcome on into the stream, mate. Very nice to see you in the chat. Nowhere to go on his accident on lap 1, as we see Albino Josh racking up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the spit lane. The second one we've seen tonight. Yeah,
the entry into the pit lane here at Zandvoort is actually a lot more difficult than people think. You come in at such a high speed, and you've got to get that car down below, I believe it's 100 kilometers an hour for this. No, sorry, it's 60 kilometers an hour for this pit lane, because it's so narrow.
I'm very curious to see here where Average Only rejoins this race. It looks like he's got out ahead of Huey Yadig and does have some clean air. So let's see then. Are we going to see Data box this lap, or is he is boxing this lap? So here we go. It's going to be Average Only versus Data. Has the undercut work or not? We're about to find out. Data's in, responding to Average Only's pit stop a lap later. He's coming through turn 13 now, slamming the power down through the banking of the final right-hander of turn 14, as we see yellow flags again in that Sector 2 split. A lot of drivers finding that trouble. Data on the exit of the pit lane. He's through turn 1 now. It's going to be tight, but Data is getting the power down, and he's through turn 2. It looks like Data's been able to extend his lead.
Yes, it does. It looks like the undercut hasn't completely worked here, but the gap's not extended a whole lot. And Data, he's on the cold tires, so he's gonna he's going to be struggling a little bit this lap, as average only's tyres will be coming up to temperature about now, although average only a little low on battery. So this is going to be a very interesting battle.
Well, I tell you who has benefited from this round of pit stops, Clunky Boy. He's got past Alex, he's pulled a 2-second gap, and all of a sudden he finds himself all over the rear wing of his sister team of Alpha Tauri. He's fighting Val, and we could be about to see a wonderful duel here. Let's go on board with Clunky Boy, sporting an orange Dutch helmet. That is very cool. He's got the Dutch flag on top and the orange dome, and he gets the DRS open. Saves the battery. Is he going to go for a move here into turn 11? He's not. He thinks better of it. Tucks in behind and remains in P5. He does get a good look there, though, underneath Val, but wasn't able to get the power down and make it work. But I'd almost say for certain here we are going to see him make a move into turn 1. He's using a little bit of gas through the banking, a little bit of ERS, and he's starting to close up here. He's going to be hard to keep behind. Val doesn't cover off the inside line, so happy to show him to the inside and under braking. Clunky Boy does get ahead, and Val is helpless to resist the charge of the Red Bull.
Yeah, I think Val just thought better of that, and Val's on 2-lap fresher tires, so maybe just thinking, okay, I'm going to get a bit more temperature into my tires, and he can go. I've got the battery sussed here, because as you say, Clunky Boy. Just a little low on battery, so he's going to have to halves for a couple of laps. But I think these battles are going to develop quite nicely. And outside of that first lap safety car, it's been a very, very clean race from everybody.
Yes, it has. It's been fascinating to watch. It's sort of been a strategic type of Grand Prix. We've seen a couple of nice moves made on track, but the round of pit stops has sort of shuffled the deck a little bit, and we see yellow flags again in Sector 2. There's a lot of drivers just struggling in that right-hander, it seems. And I think that time it was VK that went around for a little excursion. So he'd been doing so well, but he has made a mistake here on lap 20 and finds himself last of the runners. So hopefully he can come back into the race and finish off with a flurry. And we see two cars going side by side here. This is Beatster and Albino Josh. Let's just stay with this one, as Beatster is looking to come back into the Grand Prix here and claim a victim here in the form of a Haas. It's going to have to be late braking if he's going to do it. And he is going to go down the inside here of Albino Josh. Forces the issue, and Beatster, that's fantastic driving. And Albino Josh forced to tuck him behind through turn 2. Into turn 3, we're going to see a comeback. We are not. So that's a fantastic move from Beatster there. And that sees him propelled up to P11. Fantastic.
And it looks like VK has just gotten a penalty for track limits, I believe.
He's into the pits as well there, so VK's race is fast unravelling, but he's going on for the mediums. They will be quick for the next 16 laps of the Grand Prix, but he is now a long way off the pace and in danger of being lapped. As we see a moment for Beatster, he's gone around. Not sure if there was contact with himself and Albino Josh, but Beatster in the wars, and he has now dropped to P13. He's really struggled today. Very popular in the F1 community. There'll be a lot of people following him, but unfortunately it's not panned out the way he would have hoped, and we see a safety car for multiple incidents on track. Beatster went around. VK has retired from the Grand Prix, and on lap 20, the safety car is out. Beatster has stopped on the track, perhaps to maintain delta. So, Guardian, which way does this go? There's a drive-through penalty for Alex in P6 as well, speeding under the VSC. So it's VSC neutralising the field. I don't think we'll see any cars into the pits. The leader just coming through turn 10 now, but this might just shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, it could do. And it looks like JS44 is going to take the free stop here. Maybe a little bit of damage to their car. I'm not sure, but yeah, looks like that Williams coming out of the pits now.
I'm not sure what's happened to VK there, but that was rather disappointing, as he was having a solid race, and it looked like it was just a sort of a train of errors, I guess, there, and he's called it quits, rather unfortunately. We want to see drivers obviously making it to the end of Grand Prix, no matter what happens, trying to keep their heads down. And the thing is, it's in a league race as well. There's, they're 50% race distance. Anything can happen in the blink of an eye. Your luck can change. You could go from last to first, really. I mean, it's simple as that. But another drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car, again for Alex. Is that multiple penalties for him, or? I think it is. I think that's 2 drive-throughs, and he's down the inside of Max Height in turn 14, almost banging wheels there with the Aston Martin. There's a Mercedes-Benz around. I think that's Huey in turn 11. And Alex does get past then Max Height, but I would believe he's got 2 drive-through penalties to serve, so that's going to absolutely ruin his day. Max Height with the penalty, and Albino Josh also. But it's Data in the lead by 4.3 seconds. Go ahead, Guardian.
Yeah, that VSC Delta, you've got to watch it. Yeah, it's bit unfortunate that he's got 2, because that's really going to hurt him, and I suspect with he'll have 3 laps to serve both of those penalties. So yeah, just a touch unfortunate. He'll have to come in this lap actually to serve one of them, but yeah, just a bit of bad luck, and maybe a little bit of just forgetting that the VSC was still out, and that happens. I mean, I've done it myself quite a few times. And,
Clunky Boy fastest lap 13.7.
but yeah, it's just just a bit unfortunate. But as you say, we've got 13 laps remaining in this race as we enter the final third of the race, and anything can still happen. We could still see a late safety car, and that could bring them straight back into it.
Indeed, but yes, unfortunately, your early prediction of driver of the day is no longer with us, Guardian. So unlucky for your boy VK there, but hopefully we'll see him again. And he's put himself on the radar. He drove a pretty solid first half of the race, but let's turn our attention now to Clunky Boy, who is within DRS range of Rissell, fighting for the podium. Clunky Boys really came into this Grand Prix very well in the second half, driving very strong, and just trying to find his way up to the back of that scarlet red Ferrari and mount a challenge here for the podium positions.
Yeah, it's a very good battle developing here between those two, as we see Data is now extending that lead. But yes, we see the Data's just set another fast lap and extended that lead to 5.5 seconds.
Yes, he is in another territory at the moment, Data. 5.5 seconds the gap, as mentioned by Guardian. That lead is over Average Only, who currently sits P2 from Rissell P3. And Clunky Boy had a little moment there, and he's just about outside DRS territory, so that could be rather detrimental to his race in the long term. Val doing very solid up in P5. Talaxian has battled on rather well for P6. Alex with his drive-throughs, who he's serving now, is going to drop down the order massively, I reckon, to P13 just about. Merlin up in the top 10, Beats are recovering in P11. There's still a lot of drivers with chances to make up positions here as we approach the final 12 laps of this Grand Prix. But the field is rather spaced out.
Yes, it is. We're starting to see these little battle groups just starting to niche into their own. And yes, it looks like Alex has come out P12, so just ahead of Max Height there. But he'll be under threat from the DRS.
Indeed he will. So I tell you what, as commentators, you've got to stay biased. You don't want to go picking favourites, but boy oh boy, it'd be good to see Clunky Boy get a move done for P3, wouldn't it?
Oh, it absolutely would. He's driven a solid race, had a solid qualifying, and really deserves it.
Not to say that Rissell wouldn't. He was well in control of the race in the lead, but had a moment which has sort of forced him back into this battle. But Clunky Boy doing absolutely everything again to stay with him here, and it'd be a great thing to see, a battle for the final step of the podium here in Zandvoort today. It's been a rather interesting race, quite strategic. A few moves have been made, a few spins have been had. There could be a busy night for the stewards ahead of us, but we'd love to see a fight for the podium here. The battle for the lead, unfortunately, just fizzling out, but take nothing away from Average Only, because he had a rather tricky start. He stayed with it, and he's battled on, and there's big points on offer here for the Aston Martin of Average Only. How would you sum up his drive today, Guardian? Just tell us a bit about him.
His drive today has been nothing short of phenomenal. He's kept it clean all race. He was very fiery at the beginning. Really put a lot of pressure on Data just through that middle round of the race before. Just after the stops. The undercut not quite working for him, unfortunately, but you know, yeah, it's racing. Anything can happen, and it usually does.
I'll tell you what, there's a bit of action here at the back of the grid. Max Height, Alex and JS going into battle. All of the finishers, providing they do cross the line and take the checkered flag, are going to score points. It's the top 15 in the Race Spec series that do score. And anyone that has a fastest lap will score a point for that as well. It currently belongs to Data, but Max Height looking to come back in the race along with Alex and JS on his debut. He's done himself very well, I think. I'm sure he'd love to be a couple of positions further up the road, but he's battled on quite well. What would you make of his debut?
Yeah, look, this is a big learning curve stepping into this into this series, and he's done very well in adapting to that. And meanwhile, just ahead of him as well, Beats are really getting the pace back on, and he's a little over 1.5 seconds behind Merlin now, and just looking to close that gap.
On board then with the big Beatster through the fast right-hander. That a tricky kink. We've seen a lot of drivers really struggling through this sector today. And the car can get very lackadaisical through there, so you've got to keep it under check, and Beatster's doing a very nice job here, looking to fly on up and wave his wand at the magical Merlin and sail by into P9. Do you think he can do it?
The pace that he's putting on right now, absolutely, I think he can do it. He's what about 6/10 off that DRS, and yeah, that final second, once you've got that DRS over, it disappears. And I think Merlin's keeping that in mind and just also trying to keep that gap, get on the power a bit early. And Merlin's done a very good job of looking after that energy store in today's race as well. He's got quite a lot to use, quite a lot to defend with. So I think he can probably pull some magic out of his hat as well.
Let's hope so. But we're just coming up now to 9 laps to go, and we'd like to thank everyone tuning in on the Race Spec Esports Twitch TV channel for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure bringing you the action. And hopefully we see a few more sparks fly in the last 9 laps of this Grand Prix. But Data well in control, 5.4 seconds now over average only, and then a further 5.7 back to Rissel. Clunky Boy just dropping off the pace, and it needs to be a little bit careful here, Clunky Boy, because he doesn't want to fall back into the clutches of Val.
No, he definitely doesn't. He's
Yellow flags for A. McLaren. He's rejoining back onto the circuit. That was Alex. Sorry, Guardian.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Alex. There, having a bit of an excursion there, but yeah, Clunky Boy, he's doing a very good job looking after the tyres. They're 4 laps older than Rissel's tyres as well, so Rissel maybe has a little bit of a grip advantage. Possibly.
Alex went around again there, almost hindering his teammate's quest for the lead, but Data is able to sail on by and maintains a 5.6 gap to average only. Rissel is just closing the gap now. He might be leaving it late, but there might be something left in the tank for him, although he is a little bit low on battery. And Val really starting to steam up to the back here of Clunky Boy. The battle could be on towards the end here for P4. Huey Yadiga's done really well also. Had a rough start. We saw him down towards the rear of the track, and the old commentator's cursed there as he goes quite wide. Alex retiring from the session in the pit lane. He will have to leave the session. He does, so his car shouldn't cause any dramas for anyone on the circuit. But we're down to just 12 runners now. And Albino, Josh and Merlin, both Haas cars in the top 10. Beatster has reclaimed 10th place. Max Height battling on for P11 and JSP 12. Is there one final twist left in this tale with 7 laps to go?
Well, very, very possibly. I mean, it has all sort of calmed down, but it could get fiery again with as I say, 7 laps remaining, and we'll see what they've got. One final push to the end, and maybe they've got just a little bit left in the tank. I think Val is definitely going to be looking to make a move on Clunky Boy when they come around to the main straight, because he is very, very close, 5/10 the gap now. And I think that the Clunky Boy is going to have to really consider how he's going to defend this. He gets a good run off 14.
Well, let's see if Clunky Boy gets the elbows out. I think on this occasion, Val just a little bit too far back to think about a move in turn 1, but potentially turn 3, maybe even later on in the lap, perhaps turn 10. Let's see what he can do here on lap 30 of 36 on this Dutch Grand Prix. It's Val after Clunky Boy for P4.
Yeah, it looks like they've both taken the same line through there. I think Val's just gonna stick in that slipstream, save the battery a bit, and try and put a bit of pressure on Clunky. Clunky's really absorbing the pressure really well as he got a little wider on the dirt there.
Just quietly, Rissell just closing that gap to P2. It's now 3.6. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah, the rate that Rissell's closing in, I think he might in the last maybe 2-3 laps be giving average only just a little bit to think about.
Indeed, great call, Guardian. And here's Clunky Boy then. He's going to have to defend very hard here against Val if he wants to keep this P4. We see him, the aggressor, earlier in the race. He was attacking, but now he is defending. So he's having to use all his skills in his repertoire today. And there's a Ferrari around. It's Rissell! Oh, no, that's big. Just as I called him, coming back into the Grand Prix, Rissell falls off the podium. That promotes Clunky Boy, but Val goes by. Clunky Boy has no answer for him. Val, all of a sudden, in 2 swift corners, finds himself on the podium from P5. Magic stuff. Is Clunky Boy going to be able to respond, though?
Well, I think Clunky Boy's got just a little more battery than Val, so maybe he will. And as to Rissell, I think he had that spin that I was talking about in that bank turn. You've really got to keep the rear in check there, and I think he might have lost it.
Rather unfortunate, because that's the second spin today. The first one cost him the lead of the Grand Prix. He's fought back so well, undoubtedly has plenty of pace, but now he finds himself back in P5 and out of podium contention. He might have the pace to come back. It's hard to say. Talaxian P6. Huey Yadig, just to recap the top 10. He's in P7. Albino Josh P8. Merlin 9th. Beats the 10th. Trying to close the gap to the Haas cars, but he's actually coming under fire from Max Height back there in P11. And JS44 doing very well to be still in the race, and hopefully he completes it. He looks like, for all money, P12. But Data leads by 7 seconds then. Further 10 seconds back to Val. Clunky Boy's just checked out of that podium battle. It's at 1.3. I'd love to see him just close that gap and keep the fight alive. But I tell you what, if there's ever a case of just keeping yourself clean and being consistent and getting a good result, this is it right here at the AlphaTauri. Val has been just that, consistent and clean. And it's a well-earned P3 for him as it stands. But there's as long as there's laps remaining, you never know what's going to happen in a league race.
Well, exactly, and also don't forget that Albino Josh has got that 5-second penalty. So that'll mean that Merlin beats sort of Max Height if they can keep it clean.
Here we
we'll
go.
all be elevated by a position.
Beats to try to get back around the outside in turn 1 there. Try and perform somewhat of a switchback, but he wasn't able. Through turn 2 now into turn 3. Dives in, takes a very narrow line here. Visa's going to want to come back and get that top 10. I'm sure he's not going to want to let this one slide. So let's stay with Beatster. See if he can get that position back. And just keep an eye as well, because Rissell's on the back of Clunky Boy. They're into turn 14, so let's jump on over to that battle. Clunky Boy may have to defend here. Is he going to get the elbows out? He stays on the outside, shows Rissell to the inside, and with the power of DRS, Rissell is able to slide on by and recapture P4. And his sights are now going to be firmly set on some qualifying laps here at the end to try and damage limitate himself and get P3, if limitate is even a word.
Well, I'm not sure, but we'll add it to the Oxford Dictionary.
Oh boy, I've really struggled tonight, I can't lie. I'm absolutely wrecked from building my rig, but talk about rigs, there's 12 of them left in the Grand Prix, and it's Data in the lead of the Grand Prix. Guardian, how would you sum this one up through 33 laps?
It was a very interesting start, but we got that early safety car, and the single file restart definitely paid dividends. Everybody got through that cleanly, and we've had a couple of unfortunate DNFs through the race, but I've been very impressed with the racing here tonight. It's been very, very clean here in Zandvoort. A lot of really good battles. As Rissell just pulling that gap out to almost a second now, but Clunky, he'll get that DRS.
Yes, he is.
But
Yeah, he's extending his gap, and it's 2.1 seconds now to Val here on lap 34. So he's going to have just under 3 complete laps here to try and get himself back onto the podium. Val's going to be doing everything he can on his hard tyres to hold on, I am sure of that. We also have Max Height and Beatster doing battle, and Merlin heading the queue here for P9. So all of a sudden in the closing laps, there's a few little spot fires starting to flare up. And the main one that we are focusing on is for P3 as Val currently holding it down. But Rissel is not going to want to let him have it easily. So let's see what happens. Clunky Boy could be a shout as well to maybe just nip back.
yeah, no, Russell showing a lot of pace. He's really closing that gap, and I think we'll find Val under threat, probably going into this final lap.
Yes.
Yeah, if Russell can get inside that DRS, he'll be okay. But I think it might just be a little bit too late now.
Well,
But
it may well be a 3-way battle for the podium here as we begin the second to last lap, penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Val holding on to P3, Rissel chasing in P4, and Clunky Boy has done very, very well just to maintain that in P5. But we see all three of these drivers below 20% of battery. It's Val that does have the most battery, harvesting almost up to 20% there on the exit of turn 3. It's 1.2 the gap now, so I think it is going to come down to the last lap here.
yeah, Russell's showing a lot of pace, and I definitely think he's going to be in for a chance here.
Yeah,
So,
Clunky Boy's
1.1.
dropped off.
And I think Russell might just be inside the DRS zone for the second DRS zone of the lap.
He is indeed. He has got the DRS activated here on the run down into turn 11, exit of turn 10. So let's see here. It's obviously take nothing away from Data at the front. He has driven a sensational race, and we'll rejoin him as he crosses the line. But the battle here to keep our eyes on is Rissel and Val. This is going to be for the final step of the podium. Rissel's day has been eventful, to say the least, but let's see what Val can do. He's driven so smooth today, so consistently, and he's avoided trouble, but there is plenty of trouble coming his way on the final lap in the form of a bright red Ferrari, and he sees red for sure because multiple spins have probably cost him a chance to win, and if he gets the taste of the podium, he's going to want to take it and sink his teeth right into it. So let's see here on the final lap if Rissel can claim this podium position.
He's very, very close, but he's gonna.
He is indeed. So let's see what he can do. Through the fast right-hander here, swarming all over the rear wing of the AlphaTauri. Through the kink, flicking it back to the right. He's got to keep it all together here. Like I said, the cars can get quite lackadaisical through there. Easy to make a mistake, particularly on the exit. We're just going to switch to the lead of the race here because Data has driven a sensational race. He was challenged earlier on, but he's pulled through, and the Dutch Grand Prix Round 2 goes to Data. He claims the checkered flag, takes the win, back to turn 12, and Val is holding on. It's going to come up to turn 13 here, 2 right-handers to go. It's going to be hard to see a way through for Rissel. He's going to have to really send it. He's using all of his battery here through the final corner, trying to find a slipstream, trying to find a power advantage, but he's not going to do it. Val holds on. That is sensational from Val. Absolute brilliance from him. He has oozed class all over the racetrack today. Claims the final step of the podium. Brilliant. Average only. Don't forget him. Far from average, as I love to say. He finishes in P2. Unlucky for Rissel. It could have been a very different story for him today, but he has to settle for P4. Clunky Boy P5. Talaxian P6. Huey P7. Albino Josh looks like he may claim potentially P11, unfortunately, with his penalty. Let's see. Beats to P8, Max Height P9. I think it was P11 there for Albino Josh, and maybe Merlin did get to P10, but fantastic race, Guardian. Sum it up from your point of view.
Oh yes, it was absolutely a sensational race. I mean, so hard to pick because everybody did such a great job, but Val just defended like an absolute animal in those last couple of laps under siege from Rissel. Rissel, couple of mistakes, but you know he'll learn from them and he'll come back fighting in the next race, I think.
Absolutely. Not wrong here. So we see the podium. Data on top. Drove a great race. Average only up there with him and Val. I have to say, I think it was my driver of the day would go to Val, just for his consistency and holding on at the end under immense pressure from Rissell. I'd give my driver of the day to Val today, and we spray the champagne on the podium. A great race here, round 2 in Zandvoort. We may be able to jump into the voice chat and interview a couple of drivers. In fact, we've got a couple in the commentary box right now. Guardian, would you like to kick us off with some interviews, perhaps with Average Only?
Yes, absolutely. Average only, phenomenal race, mate. How did you find it?
Yeah, I'm honestly just stoked. I've been finishing quite consistently the past 2 races. Wasn't quite in the pace as Dada. He was super quick. Lost force feedback about halfway through the race just before I pitted, which is actually why I pitted a bit early, hoping that it would come back. But yeah, I lost pace throughout the rest of the race. Just trying to nurse it back home, making sure I don't do any slip-ups of any sort. But no, overall, pretty happy with it.
Yeah, mate, that must have been so hard losing the force feedback. It brings back memories of F121 for me, having no force feedback after an update. So to finish P2 with no force feedback, mate, absolutely phenomenal job and well done.
Well done.
Appreciate it. Cheers, guys.
Well done, sir. Drove great. I'm just very quickly going to jump down into the Pacific chat because we do have our race winner, Data. Then we might come back to Val. So just bear with me, guys. I'm just going to jump down. Data, are you good for a chat, sir?
Yeah.
Mate, fantastic. Our race winner. Mate, you were challenged in the early stages of that race with Rissell getting on by. You're able to reclaim the lead and storm away, mate. How was it out there?
Yeah, it was fun. There was some fuel saving. I think a few of us had to do in the middle of the race. So that was a bit touch and go, but in the end we got there. So.
And what was it like? You had average only for quite some time at the beginning of that race, all over the rear wing as well, trying to put you under pressure, but you stayed cool. Were you just able to find the right lines out there or manage the battery? What was the key to pulling away and building such a big gap?
I think before the first pit stop, the battery was quite important because I noticed when Russell overtook me, he was already flashing. So, yeah, I knew average only wouldn't have much more, so kept managing that, and then yeah, just the hards felt quite nice as well. So yeah.
Well done, sir. You drove a fantastic race, and that's your first win of the season there, I believe. So very good. Congratulations on that, and hopefully we'll see you back up on the podium in the future as well.
Okay, thank you.
Well done, sir. Well done, sir. Guardian, would you like to continue on with Val? My driver of the day, mate. Just before Guardian asks you some questions, mate. Fantastic drive. Very clean and consistent. Well done.
Wait, I'm your driver of the day?
I'm giving you driver of the day.
Oh, nice. Thanks. I wasn't expecting that.
Take it away, Guardian.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess it was quite consistent. After I changed to the hards, I don't know. The tires just wouldn't fire up. And then after the VSC, it was Risso and the Ferrari that towed Clunky and the Red Bull along, and I kind of lost track from there. But after a while, I think the hearts just came into it, and I started setting PBs like every single lap. And I think Clunky burned up all his ERS, and his tires may have been on fire a bit, and I got past. And after Risso made that mistake, I don't know. I think the nerves got to me, and I made a mistake, and I lost the tires, the rears. I had no confidence in them again, and I just managed to hold them off. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
You did well.
Yeah,
mate.
it was some phenomenal defense there, Val. He was coming back at you at a phenomenal pace. Like how
fast.
Yeah, how was the heart rate there for the last couple of laps, mate?
I think the tires were okay. It's just that I made a mistake where I think in the middle sector, I just tried to put on the power down too early. And I don't know. I just felt like I lost the lost the confidence. I think the tire was still okay. It's just that I it's a bit hard to lean on the rears at this track because you're just so scared of oversteering.
Yeah, it's absolutely one of the one of the hardest tracks with so many fast left right flicks that you've got there. But look, mate, you did a phenomenal job defending that P3, and congratulations on the podium.
Thank you. Thanks for driving today as well. I appreciate it.
Oh, mate, you did well. Absolutely my pleasure.
Alright, thanks.
All right, I'm just going to jump back down, and JS and Guardian, if you guys can come into the Pacific chat as well, we'll grab some of the other drivers. Just jumping down
Just
here.
for it to end like that.
Rissel, are you good for a question, sir?
What?
Are you good for a question?
Am I what?
Are you good for a question?
I can't hear you.
Are you good for a question?
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah. Just we just wanted to grab you and just get your thoughts on your race. We saw you rather spectacularly take the lead of the Grand Prix, and I was saying as you took the lead how fast you looked and how you could be a chance, but unfortunately a spin. It was an eventful day for you, mate. What happened?
Well, not the finest day in the office, you could say. I mean, I thought I had pace on the mediums, and then I got beached on the curb after the right-hander. I spun, and then I just made a lot of mistakes. It's skill issue, I think.
Skill issue. Mate, these things happen. You still come back extremely well. You fought hard and almost nicked the podium, but Val was just too good at the end. But no, you drove a good race, mate. Hopefully next week you can achieve a little bit better.
Yeah, cheers.
Well done. Anyone else want to get interviewed?
There's not much to say from my part. I got taken out lap 1, so
Oh boy,
not
Yeah.
much to report.
very unlucky. Yeah, we saw that. Quite unlucky. But yeah, no, it was a good race, lads.
Boring strategy.
Anything else, Guardian, you'd like to add while we got the drivers all ganging up on us in here?
Thanks, guys.
No, I don't think I've got much more to add other than just for the most part a very clean race from everybody, and it was a very thrilling race to watch.
Nice. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. That's going to be all we have time for. It was a great spectacle in the Netherlands, going the way of Data tonight, claiming his first win of the season. So well done to him. But we're gonna exit the stream now, and we'll see you next week on Tuesday. And don't forget to catch the rest of the series on the Race Spec Esports channel throughout the course of the weekends. And yes, there's plenty of action coming our way with Monza, the next track that we visit. So until next time, guys, stay safe out there. Take care. I hope everyone has a fantastic week. And yeah, we'll see you all on the next one.